Gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of Moving the Magnets for the game this Sunday between Collingwood and Fremantle. It's time for all things black and white. Happy Friday. Welcome. We are here as we await patiently for the clock to hit 5 p.m. so we can figure out what our final 23 will look like going into the game against Sunday. We got a fair idea of who may be in, and we'll talk about that in a moment, based off what we learnt yesterday. Nasty Man says, I'm not waiting patiently. Why is that? Enlighten me, brother. So there's that. Luke, how are you? And Madison, welcome, my friend. Let's Oge. So let's get right into it. What I'll do is I'll open up AFL app. We'll look at the lineups again that we saw yesterday, and we can just simply go from there. Arlo, how are you? Good to be home Sunday. Yeah, I'm going. So I haven't been to a game since think. When was my last game? Was it Anzac Day? I think mine was Anzac Day. Was the last game I went to this year. LAB. Yasumani, Dean better lift. Enough is enough. He's mature now. No more excuses. This probably is his last chance, right? So wish the man all the best, don't we? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Weekend ready. We've got a good game tonight to look forward to between, Bulldogs and Brisbane. We have great interest in that. So yeah. Just work today, Luke, so same old, mate. Same old. Can our midfields match Frios? Maybe not when it comes to clearance and contest, but when it comes to effectiveness in the game, probably. Hopefully. Steve-O, how are you, mate? What do I do for work? I am a NDIS support coordinator, my friend. So not a support worker. A support coordinator. So I organize supports and providers for clients with disabilities, which is largely an office job, which is largely why I'm able to do this, because working from home allows the flexibility for me to do this sort of stuff. Maybe this will be Dean's legacy game. Hey, Sheehan, who knows? I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. People think I have a grudge. Not a grudge, but I have something against players. I have a certain motive, but that's not true. If you play good footy for the Collingwood Football Club, I'll be there. I will be there. Simple as that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I've got no space to put my head here, so maybe if I move, I'm trying to cook something up on the predicted 23 so I can make some room. What if I go bang, 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 bang. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. So I'll go here. So this is where we're at, yeah? According to yesterday. But I'm going to make some changes with this structure of it. Still think that McStay will move back, which makes him the 7th defender. I feel like McStay, in games where we've been under the pump, he's swung down back anyways as that extra defender. So that wouldn't come to a surprise to me. But what may surprise me tomorrow is if we play him full time in the back line. I wasn't too sure if Charlie Dean would be in the side, but he's in the side, and here we are. Let's get rid of that. No. Cooked it. Is it? You guys see what I'm trying to do here, right? I'm trying to make room so I can put this ugly head here. Put that there so I don't always have to change the camera angle. Can I move them both? No. Anyways, I'll fix this up later. I suppose. Why is that not? I just want to know. Can I not do that together? We'll miss Membry straight boot. I know he's been one of the most accurate pies this year, so it's unfortunate, but time for other players to kind of step up and and fulfill that role in kicking straight. Membry's one of those players, you might not recognise him throughout the game when it comes to impact, but what you can't underrate is when he does have an opportunity to impact the scoreboard more than anything, he does that. So that's what I love about Membry. He just does that so well. Look, it's great that we have Myercheck back, so that's going to be important. That's going to be something it's something I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow, is Myercheck having like a 3-4 goal game and stealing some sort of the headlines going into or coming out of this game is what I'm hoping for. I'm just going to leave it there for a second. Squad mentality, pretty much, and I think that will give Charlie Dean confidence, is the fact that he is coming into a side where we don't rely on one player, we rely on the system, and if the system is working, he should go all right. Was he disappointing against the likes of West Coast, who didn't really have a forward line? Yes. But unfortunately, he just didn't have time to warm into it. And I felt like at the same time, I felt like West Coast were really effective with their ball movement in that first half against us, which worked against Charlie Dean, I feel. So I do feel for him. Yeah, 13 minutes till team, so we shouldn't be too far away. Is it splits or spits? Splits. It is splits. Yeah, bro, splits. 13 minutes. Don't want to be that guy, but I reckon Long and Mitchell in the same team deserve another chance. Problem is, Mick, time is ticking, and if selection committee have an inkling that this is not going to work for them right now, we don't have that time. We just don't have that luxury to flirt around with our midfield mix. What makes me think Titch out? Because you're looking here, aren't you? I think Titch out. I'll tell you in a second, mate. Give me one moment. I'm pretty certain it could be Titch, and it's actually Sullivan in, by the way. And I think Steele is out, just based on what we're seeing in that AFL lineup. Bear with me, guys. I'm getting there. I'm just fixing this up here, updating this. So if we go, all right. Here's my reasoning behind why Tom Mitchell out. Outside of the obvious being, can we have Ned Long and Tom Mitchell in the same team? Let me see. Lineups. All right. So straight away, Charlie Dean is in because he's in the starting lineup. We also have Lipinski in the starting lineup. And we also have Lockie Sullivan in the starting lineup. So that's three. I need to write this down because I'm not capable of storing this type of information. So you got Sullivan, who's in already. Lipinski in, and you've got Dean in, right? And we've already announced that Bo McCreary, as well as Myercheck, are in. Myercheck. So that's 5 ins. We need 5 outs now, obviously. So Howie is one of them. Houston is the second. And Membry is the third. There's 2 more players from here that must be dropped. I think one of them will be Rowan Steele. As much as I think he has a career at the Collingwood Football Club beyond this year, I don't think he has enough time to prove himself for the final series. I could be wrong, you know? Is that? It's a little bit off, isn't it? I need to adjust this as well, apparently. Is it off? It is slightly. So if I make... For some reason, I can't do the dimensions of this properly. So that's... Parker and Steele. Well, Parker wasn't in last week, was he? Was Parker in against... Was he in against Gold Coast? I don't think so, man. If we go back, I'm pretty sure Parker was not. Maybe he was. And then Tom Mitchell would be in on that account. Nah, Will Parker was out. Okay. All right. So that, leaves. So like I said, I got Rowan Steele off the bench, who played last week. Will Parker didn't play last week. Ed Allen didn't play last week. Markov, I think you keep him in. Mason Cox stays in because Membry is out. So in that case, it's just Tom Mitchell for me. I would like to see Ed Allen return. I just don't know if that's going to happen at the end of the day. Everyone is worried, but Freo is missing their captain too. Who is their captain? Is that Alex Pearce? Yeah, well, Sully started. Sully is in the starting lineup, so he doesn't go. He doesn't go, does he? Which leaves us here. That's pretty much what we're left with. So 7 minutes until the teams come out as well, by the way. Get this behind Membry. Cox had a good game. He did. So if anyone deserves an opportunity while Membry's out, it's Mason Cox, and he can help out with the clash between himself, DC, Luke Jackson, and Darcy, right? The coach is bringing in speed. He knows we were too slow last week. I think we all know that, right? Bringing in Lockie, bringing in McCreary is always a welcome sign. Tag him up or team him up with Lockie Schultz. You know, considering 5 outs and that best 23, and then we got Frampton best 23, DeGoey best 23, Bobby Hill best 23. Like that's 6 or 7 players that we're missing this week. That very well could be in our best 23 that aren't playing. Frampton, DeGoey, Bobby Hill, Jeremy Howe, Dan Houston, Tim Membry. We're technically 6 players away from our best 23. That's where we're at, and that's how deep we're running at the moment. So, you love to see that, don't you? Absolutely. Anything cooking on the Twitter front? I think Ruby Schleicher, new skipper for the AFLW team. Congrats. 27. I didn't know she was only 27. Thought she was a bit older. Anyhow. Get rid of this. Pop that. Match previews. What do you got for us, son? Sunday 3. What do we think about the Sunday 3 o'clock fixture? It's not too bad. You know what's annoying for me is Collingwood Fremantle into Adelaide Gold Coast would be nice to watch, but we got the post-game show. This is a very pertinent game to watch if you're a Collingwood fan. So that's that. Match preview comes out at 6 o'clock, by the way. 6 p.m. is when that comes out. So stick around for that. Look for Chris to fire after last week's brain farts. He had a couple moments he'd like to have back, but I actually thought he was one of our best players in that first half when we struggled. Record it, bro? Record what? Oh, the Gold Coast Adelaide game? Nah. You can watch it for me at Manny. Forward 50 pressure has to be fire this week. Shooter and Boda to cut sick. To cut sick, what does that mean? Chris was a hog last week. What website was that? Which one? This one. Fight Watcher. This is called WheeloRatings.com. Very good website. Great website. You got match previews. You got match stats. You got player statistics that extend beyond the AFL, AFLW, Sample, VFL, VFLW, Waffle. You have team stats, which is also quite handy. Very handy, actually. How do you feel about the loss against Gold Coast? I wasn't here for your post-game show, says Hazza. I think it was a tale of two halves. And it was a tale of two halves. It showed great character in that second half, and we still have that comeback blood in us, which is important. I thought if that first half is our worst first half of the year, and that was Gold Coast's best first half, maybe in almost their entire establishment, then we're going all right, don't you think? If that's their best and that's our worst, and we only lose by 8 points or whatever it was, we were in front in that last quarter, we'll be sweet. We'll be all good, all good. No dramas. Keeping an eye on this fixture release, the team release, sorry. Dean said, I did a uni assignment using Wheeler Ratings. Great website. It's great, isn't it? And you can download spreadsheets from it, which is handy. So that's good. You start how you finish. Hoskin Elliott was, yeah, that's true. You start how you finish sometimes. Depending how you finish the game, it can have a carryover effect into the next game. That would be nice. If that is the case, that means on Sunday we should have a belter. Do you think we will see Josh Dacos in the midfield on Sunday? We will see him, I feel. However, we won't see him as much as we would if Dan Houston was still on the side. So we'll have to be patient with that. Cut sick is an Australian slang term meaning to go wild, crazy, or get very enthusiastic about something. Fair? Fair? Lockie, we won't lose this week after we got done. Good teams respond, mate. Good teams respond, don't they? And that's what we've done all year. We lose a game, and then we respond and win 6, 7, 8 in a row. We lost against GWS, respond. We lose against GWS. Let me say it again. We lose against GWS, respond. We lose against Geelong, respond. We lose against Gold Coast, can we respond again? Peter, it is dry. Yasureyani. Hey, mate, how confident are you for Sunday's game? With this team, Yanni, confident every week. Call me naive, but every season that I watch Collingwood, there's not a game that I go into where I don't genuinely think we're going to win, which speaks to the volumes of the pride of the club, the consistent standard for the last, well, I'm 27, right? So for all my life that I can remember, beyond the 2000s, it's been a pretty good show. So I have this confident arrogance going into every week thinking we're a fighting chance. I think we will win. I think we will win. Don't ask me by how much. Don't ask me how. I just think we're going to win. Luke says, will we rest Nick for the Richmond game? I think so, yes. I think so. If we win this week, we will. We are the big boys in the league. That's why the money. Dr. Cod, who gets centre bounces? I think Crisp gets in there. I think Bo will be in that mixture as well. They put Schultz in there for a couple, so maybe we see Shooter. Teams are out, okay. Here we go. Refresh, hit refresh. Who's in? All right. Ed Allen, Brody Myercheck, Pat Lipinski, Charlie Dean, Bo McCreary. What's happened here? Why am I... So I had in Sullivan, Lipinski, Dean, Bo, Myercheck. But Sullivan is already in the side. So I did miss that. I cooked that. I had Sullivan as an inclusion. I had Sullivan as an inclusion, didn't I? 1, 2. Oh, no, I had Allen as an inclusion. There you go. Okay. So pretty much just how we expected. Unfortunately, Tom Mitchell doesn't make the side. Some part of me hoped we'd see a little bit more of Tom Mitchell, but we've seen it. Selection committee see it. It's just that balance between having Tom Mitchell, Ned Long, still Sidebottom in the same side. It's too much of an issue. It's too much of a bother to have this late in the year. I'll keep this up. I'll keep this up for those coming in. And I'll move this over. So that's unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles in 2025 when you come into the team this late. Unfortunately. So I don't know if we see this name again, depending on availability. This is unfortunate, but I'm hopeful we see Roan in 2026. Not writing him off this year, but just based on how many players are still to come into the side. Excited to see this guy back. I'm excited to see Ed Allen back. He had a real solid game in the VFL. 27 odd touches, had a really important last quarter, had like 13 touches in the first quarter. I'm excited to see what Ed Allen can bring back. And the other thing with Tom Mitchell is the question, does he take away from Ned Long? What I do know for a fact is Tom Mitchell took away from Steele Sidebottom's midfield time. Steele Sidebottom had his lowest amount of midfield time, one of his lowest for the season, which can only mean it was because of this guy. So, do you want Tom Mitchell playing good footy at the expense of Steele Sidebottom? Probably not. Do you want Tom Mitchell in at the expense of Josh Dacos rolling through the midfield? Probably not. Guys, I don't want to come out with a hyperbole and suggest that this could be it for Tom Mitchell. I'm reluctant to say that because we say that so many times and somebody bounces back. Billy Frampton bounces back. We said that about Steele Sidebottom at times last year. We said that about Will Hoskin-Elliott. We said that about Pendlebury. We've said that about a lot of players last year in particular. I'm not willing to go out on a whim and say Tom Mitchell is done. Unfortunately, speed kills slow wombats. I like that, Rick. That's a good one. Long nose there. And that's a good point, Mick. I think Nettles does need to lift a little bit, and he knows that now. We've just said, Long, Nettie, this is your spot now, mate. This is your spot for 2025. Give us a little bit more. Give us that cherry on top. Give us that set shot that you missed against Gold Coast. Give us that tackle that you slipped a little bit high late in the game. Give us that, and that's Ned Long's spot for the next X amount of years. That's where he's at right now. As we can see, McStay and Myercheck are going to be the two key tools along with Mason Cox when he's on the field. So that means, to me, who will be the sub? I'll do a quick poll. Sub. Markov. They're saying Titch is managed, Emma. Interesting that. I don't know if I'm buying that though, Emma. Are you buying that, Emma? Do you think he's being managed, or you think he's been dropped? You know, it could be also, Titch, we're gonna rest you. You might be a little bit worn out. You've had a really good stretch. We want to have a look at Ned Long. We want to have a look at Ned Long and see if he's got it in this game against Freo, against the best. And if that doesn't happen, then maybe you come back in, Titch. Is that a conversation they had? So we go McCreary. Maybe was Pendle sub already, so he won't be the sub again. And then we go Allen. Sub. He could be managed, Manny, because He's been playing a bunch of VFL as well. Thank you. I won't let you down. Good man, Dino. Dean is playing for his career. Let's be honest, guys. He is. Dean is certainly playing for his career, given the fact that this is his last year. He had his what? Did he have his contract extended by 1 year, or he's just playing out the final year of his contract? Long will be better for the tough matchup versus Rao last week. Yeah, that's a really good point, AB. I feel that those mistakes that Ned Long made in that Gold Coast game are strong learning curves for him. I really think that will show him a lot to take moving forward. It's a really handy loss and a really important learning curve for some of those players who have just been swimming along with the rest of the side in a really largely unbothered year. LRM Manny, if he needs management after 2 AFL games, delist him. Come on, bro. He missed over a year. He played VFL and he's played AFL now. He's hardly missed. I can understand the management label. Emma says, only can go off what the article says. I think I saw him in a training video that he wasn't doing much match sim and was doing laps. So I can subscribe to the management side of things, but I'd also say there's no guarantee he comes back into the side. I think they really do want to see Ned Long have a stronger game than he did last week, and then off the back of that, selection committee will react and say, okay, Ned Long or Tom Mitchell. That's the look. Could they say Ned Long, or could they say Tom Mitchell or Ed Allen and keep both Tom Mitchell and Ned Long in the same side? Possibly. Who knows? Where does McStay start? He starts in the forward line, I think, Cod. Bro. Manny. Sipner there. Bro, he just got back. If he needs a rest, he's baked. Nah, you're wrong. Come on, man. He's missed over a year. Over a year of AFL footy, bro. He's not 23 anymore. He's not Nick Dacos's age. McStay owes the fans a big game of clunks and goals, says Mick. So most of you think Markov will be the sub. I think Markov is a chance to start, don't you think, guys? I think Markov is a chance to start because we don't have Dan Houston in the back line. And I think Markov has actually been all right with his ball use this year, which means I think Ed Allen could be a sub, potentially. I think Ed Allen could be the sub. Ed Allen's a winger. Who's starting for us, or who's in the team for us? We've got still Sidebottom, we've got Lipinski, Jack Crisp. That all can play wing before Ed Allen. Therefore, I think Ed Allen could be the sub, just given where we're at as a team going into this game against the Dockers. Yeah, no Houston. Markov starts. It will be Allen or Sully. Cod, I'll give you a little tip. Sullivan will start because he's in the starting lineup. I haven't seen teams select a sub from within the starting lineup. Usually you want to look here. That's where you want to look. So, is there any more intel on the whole Mitchell being managed? Click on this. This will tell us a bit more, won't it? Go to Collingwood. Collingwood will be without a host of experience for the massive final shaping clash against Fremantle with 5 outs, including managed pair Tim Membry and Tom Mitchell. Membry and Mitchell joined injured Magpies duo Howie and Houston on the sidelines. Checkers, McCreary and Lipper among those to come in. And Hayden Young in, which is massive for them. I think that's it, really. So, groin, abdominal, managed, omitted. Unfortunate. Got some speed in, that's for sure. Yeah, Luke, if I had to bet, Luke, I'd say Tom Mitchell has been dropped. And if he doesn't come back next week, that probably solidifies my suspicion. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. If we've increased the training loads, we may be a bit flat. It's necessary, though, isn't it, going into the final series? Certainly necessary. Anything else worth noting here? Even Jen knows. Managed. There's the big fella. How come Manny is not a channel member? Manny is not a channel. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Manny brings his spirit to the channel every day, every stream. So that's more than enough for me, my friend. Is Pendles a sub again? No, he won't be the sub. No chance. I'd be very surprised if Scott Pendlebury is the sub. Hoskin plays as 7th defender. Allen plays 3rd wing, so let Crispin Sidey play some centre and keep Lipper in best position. Joshy, I can certainly see Jack Crisp giving us a bit of an injection of speed as a midfielder. I think Jack Crisp's best position is in the midfield. It's just finding a way to fit him in with what we already have. That's the problem. Manny owns a channel. That's right. I'm just running the show for him. Chris, I agree with you, Anthony. Titch got dropped this week. Backs against the wall game for us. Love it. Always. Always. I'm sure Freo, they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder as well. They've got to win games at the Coliseum, the Footy Coliseum, because that's where they've got to win it at the end of the year. And that's that. What else are we saying? What else you got for me, ladies and gents? Freo has 3 tall forwards. Yeah, they got Vossi. They've got Amiss, and they've got Tracy. And we'll have Darcy Moore and Bruzzy and Charlie Dean do a job collectively. We've done pretty well with an undermanned backline at times. We did that against Essendon. We did that against Adelaide. We did that against North Melbourne. You know, we've kind of... Collingwood this year have almost, in my opinion, and it's probably something that hasn't been spoken about much, is we've not disrespected, but I reckon we've lowered the value of a key defender in 2025. Does anybody else feel that? Because we've played with two recognisable key defenders for the most part of the year. Most teams go with 3. Could Will Hoskin be the sub? I didn't like his game last week. He was poor last week, but he won't get dropped, and he won't be the sub. So, Munted unit, I will say this. If you are on this starting field, like Will Hoskin Elliott is, you are playing. You are not the sub. You will not be the sub. Voss and Amiss don't really worry us. Amiss has had a bit of an odd season. And Voss, you know what? Voss, I like his energy. I actually don't mind Voss. I don't know what his numbers are like, and I don't think he's kicking goals. But he does bring something to the team, hence why he's in it. Christian says, if we had to let one of the Triple M's go next year, who would you pick? Just curious. Interesting question. Tough question at that. If I had to let one of them go next year, I would let go of Tim Membry. But in my opinion, Tim Membry's probably had just slightly. I reckon he slightly edges McStay's year thus far. But I think McStay's best is better than Membry. I think we can all agree to that. No? I think McStay offers a little bit more. Hoss cannot give us a repeat of last week. Richmond do 2 key defenders. Yeah, and look where they are. But look where they are for Reid. Bruzzy plays Howe's role. Perriman back to defense. Perriman is in the back line, but I see what you're saying. Can someone explain? I feel like Hoskin Elliott's been decent this year, and he is versatile Roman, as Mello suggests. I can see some people. All right, we'll do a poll, Manny. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. It's unrealistic. Yeah, Yanni says after missing 1 year of games, Tom Mitchell needs some management and also a great opportunity to test Ned Long. It is a good point. I think the spotlight will be on Ned Long with Tom Mitchell out for sure. All right, it's a hypothetical. Fuck, why not? Who would you keep? Who would you get rid of if you had to? I'm very reluctant to do this poll, but I know you guys are fiends for these type of questions. You guys are sick. Membry, McStay. I mean, I'll put Myercheck in there, but obviously we would keep Myercheck. Who would you get rid of if you had to? If you had to. Yeah, last week was a stinker, but for the year he's been good. I find it curious that they're saying Josh Dacos is starting halfback. I would expect that. I would expect him to start halfback and at some point roll through the middle. Who do we need to take care of this week? Luke Jackson, Sarong, Brayshaw, Jordan Clark playing as that distributor across halfback, Luke Ryan, all of them. They will keep all. I think they'll keep all of them as well. Most of you saying Membry though, if you had to choose. Membry's a much better kick for goal than both. Yeah, he's very accurate. We are going to keep them all. I'm just saying we're going to keep them all. I don't think it's realistic that we're going to let go of any of them. Just so I'm very clear. Okay? Can you do a matchup segment? How do you mean, COD? Do you mean player on player? Switkowski's really good. I really liked Frederick's game last week. Murphy Reed, man, so underrated. That kid was good at Sandy and he's even better at AFL level already. Question is, can we win the flag with 4 players out with injuries? Can we still play our best footy? Tough question, Matty. Tough question on a Friday evening. Can we win a flag with 4? Well, we've got currently 6 players out of our best 23, in my opinion. Yep, Shai Bolton, a problem as well. It's tough. I feel like I'm picking a favorite out of my kids. It's true. It is true. Do you think this is Charlie Dean's last chance for Collingwood? I do. Unless something crazy happens. Idea. Thinking of top 3 or 5 matches for the game. Who goes to Brayshaw? I could do that. Like matchups. I see what you're saying. But I'm just I know this sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but I'm such a believer in team over individual. And I think doing a matchup video, focusing on soul matchups and diving right into that, I can understand the allure behind it, but I just don't want to buy into that. You know what I mean? This is a huge game for Ned Long if he performs. Mitchell has played his last AFL game for 2025 barring injury. Membry is still contracted until 2026. We are talking Malachi. I know, but they wanted the poll, mate. They wanted the poll. What do we need to see from Dean for him to be given another chance? I want to see good positioning in one-on-one battles. I think he's one of his strongest abilities outside of intercept marking is his ability to use the ball. So that would be great. And just confidence. Are you going Sunday to watch the Pies? I am. Should have picked Adam Tomlinson over Steele. Don't get that one. I mean, we've done really well with an undersized backline so far, have we not? Who are the 6-ins that are best 23? So looking at my list here. Brendan, how are you, mate? Players who aren't in our 23 right now that I would consider best 23. Jeremy Howe, Dan Houston, Tim Membry, Bobby Hill, Jordan De Goey, and Billy Frampton. That's 6 players that aren't in our side right now. Josh Dacos back in the back line, yes. But I think he will play midfield at some point. Will our system overwhelm Free? I hope so. Charlie Dean in the same situation as Finn McRae. Finn just couldn't transfer. Yeah, I see that. I see that, AB. Feel like Dean is just struggling to transition that VFL dominance into AFL level. He hasn't really had a good string of games to work his way into it. And at lesser clubs who aren't performing as well, he would have more time to do so. But because it's so cutthroat at the top, he's not really getting those 8 to 10 games in a row, which he probably needs in another world to be the player we want him to be at AFL level. And the 6 outs. So like a best 23. All right. So I'd say Sullivan out, Markov out. See, it's hard. It's hard. Maybe Hoskin Elliott out. Mason Cox out. That's 4. And the other 2 is going to be tough. Maybe I'll do a best 23 might be needed again soon. It's just getting tough. What are your thoughts on a McStay backline move? I think we might see it at some point throughout the game if Charlie Dean's not holding up against the keys at Fremantle. Finn's papers are stamped. He's talking to other clubs already. You reckon, Manny, you reckon he gets an AFL opportunity at another club? Big man, that's the problem. I don't know who JDG comes in for and who comes out. I really don't. You know, if De Goey is capable of playing midfield again this year, I think Ned Long's position could be in question if he doesn't find better form than where he's at right now when Geordie De Goey becomes available. It's hard. Oh, yeah, Dean. Yeah, so look, all right. Okay, here. We're going to have a quick squiz. We'll have a quick squiz. We'll do it here for a second. St Kilda, you reckon? All right, let's have a crack at the best 23. So we need 6 in. Howe, Houston, Markov out. Oh, you can't see that there, can you? I'll put them down here. I'll put the outs down here. Houston there. Perryman there. Hypothetically, Will Hoskin-Elliott out. Hypothetically, Ed Allen out. Hypothetically, Sullivan out. Hypothetically, Mason Cox out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, that's 6 there, yeah? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Quaynor here for a second. Not that it really matters. How there. Yeah, I think that could happen Munted unit. I think so. I think we could see Josh Dacos play more midfield and Houston assume the role of the distributor in the back half. De Goey. So what's that? I need one more spot here, which was meant to be... Geez, who's the sub then? Who's the sub? Maybe, like right now, for me, just where we're at right now in this point in time, De Goey super sub. That's my best 23 right now. What are your thoughts? That's like full availability. That's our best 23, which is scary how strong that is. What do you reckon? Has to be the goer, yeah. Long will be the sub. Yeah, Long could be the sub. But just right now where we're at, I got Dugowie here. But this could also potentially happen. That could also potentially happen. Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it at that for this evening. We will see you for a pre-game show on Sunday. Go to the game, come back, post-game show, and we'll go from there. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, go Pies.